Hello everybody, Interintere back again with another video. And in today's video, guys, I want to talk about Rafael Nadal. What does Rafael Nadal need to change in his game to be more successful, especially in indoor tennis? Because we all know that through the years, Rafael Nadal has struggled when it comes to being successful indoors. He's much more successful on clay, of course, and even out on hard courts outdoors. But hard courts indoors, that has not been always the case. Look, guys, what Rafa needs to do, first of all, he needs to start playing tennis indoors like he plays on clay. What is clay court all about? What is clay court tennis all about, guys? If you don't know that, I'm gonna explain to you that to you right now, right here. Endurance, stamina, shot tolerance, consistency, and defensive skills. These are, in my opinion, the most 5 important things on clay court tennis. And who does these 5 things better than Rafael Nadal? No one in the entire history. That's why he has won 13 French Open titles. It is not any coincidence whatsoever why he has won 13 French Open titles. It is not because of his serve. It is not because of his returns. We all know that. Why did Pistol Pete won 7 Wimbledon titles? It was not because of his shot tolerance, that's for sure. We all know that was because of his serve. And the same with Nadal. Nadal has won 30 French Opens because of these 5 things. Nobody does these 5 things better than Rafael Nadal. I'm going to tell you these 5 things once again. Endurance, shot tolerance, stamina, consistency, and defensive skills. These 5. They work absolutely magical on clay, and Rafa is a beast on clay with these 5 things. But when he play indoors tennis, these 5 things are not as important like they are on clay. They are not. Of course, they are important. They will always be important as long as you play tennis, these 5 things. But they are not as important indoors like they are on clay. Indoors, then you have to have other assets of your game. You have to have other strengths of your game. You have to have other weapons of your game. Starting with the serve. There you have Rafa's first big problem. Rafa, in my opinion, he's not a top 10 server in the world. He's not among the greatest top servers in the world. In my opinion, he's not top 10. Maybe you guys feel that he's top 10 in the world when it comes to serving. Not in my opinion, he's not. I can mention 10 players who are better servers than Rafael Nadal. So Rafael Nadal, that he has been so successful during his career, it is not because of his serve, but it is because other aspects of the game, which he does so tremendously, murderously, impeccably good. But when he plays indoor tennis, he cannot come away with a weak serve like he does on clay. Because on clay, you are not necessary. You don't need necessary to have that huge serve. You don't need it. Because you know why? The service is slow. Even if you get your serve broken, you can immediately break back. You are not in trouble whatsoever, which is the case indoors, hard courts, grass, you name it. So Rafa's first big problem indoors starts with the serve. He is not as good of a server like his main companions, for sure not like his top 2 rivals, Federer and Djokovic. But we have other players who are as well better servers than him. So starting with it, his troubles comes with the serve. He comes away with weak serve on clay. He doesn't come away with weak serve in fast surfaces. He gets his serve broken, and then it is very hard for him to break back. All right? So that we have the first thing, the serve. The second thing is he plays too defensive. He plays too defensive outside clay. He tries to win matches like he does on clay. He has that inside of him. He doesn't want to go outside his comfort zone. He doesn't want to do it because he feels that I'm so overwhelming superior on clay. I will try to do the same things like I do on clay. I will try to do it indoors as well. No. Big mistake, Rafael Nadal. Kiss that baseline. Play further to the baseline. Guys, You need to step forward when you play indoor tennis. You will need to try to go for your shots. You need to try hit flatter. The topspin works on clay. It takes all of his opponents outside their comfort zone. They hit the ball up on their shoulders. But indoors, we all know, the ball doesn't bounce as high indoors like it does outdoors. We know that, especially not as high as it does on clay. So a player like Zverev, when he faces Rafael Nadal indoors, Rafa's ball, they are amazing. They are great for Zverev. They bounce on Zverev's strike zone, and Zverev can do a bunch of winners. Why do you think Zverev did 37 winners against Rafael Nadal and only 21 against Medvedev? Only 21. Do you know that he did only 21 winners against Medvedev, Zverev? Against Rafa, he did 16 more winners. In 2 sets, Zverev did 37 winners against Rafa. Against Medvedev, in 3 sets, he does 21 winners. 16 less winners against Medvedev in 3 sets than he did against Rafa Nadal. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because Medvedev, he hits flatter. He doesn't give Zverev the balls what Rafa does to Zverev. Medvedev, he doesn't give Sasha the balls on his strike zone. Medvedev's balls, we all know, they are flatter than Rafael Nadal's. And Zverev, he cannot hit. He cannot crush the ball like he did against Rafael Nadal. And Zverev did 21 winners against Medvedev. 11 of those were services. So Zverev does only 11 pure grand stroke winners. Only 11. And the reason to that is because of Medvedev giving Sasha completely different of balls what Nadal did. And that's why Sasha struggled much more against Medvedev than he did against Rafael Nadal. So Rafa, he needs to hit that ball flatter as well indoors. It works with the topspin on clay, not indoors. He needs to take time away from his opponents indoors, where they cannot crush the ball and do a bunch of winners, which Zverev did when he defeated Rafa a couple of days ago. So the serve, he needs to have more percentage of first serves in. He had 68 against Sasha. It is okay, but he needs to have over 70. Why? Because he doesn't have a powerful serve. Rafa is more of a spot server. He needs to find the spots. He needs to find the tee. He needs to have more percentage of first serve in, over 70%. He needs to play flatter. He needs to hit the ball flatter, take time away from his opponents so they cannot do a bunch of winners against him. He needs to play more offensive. He needs to take out that defensive mind that he has on clay, and because he tries to do the same indoors. He needs to play more offensive indoors, go more for the shots, play more chip and charge, go more to the net. He needs to do it like other players do indoors. He cannot just stand back 2-3 meters behind the baseline and try to outlast his opponents. It is not clay. You can outlast your opponents on clay with the 5 reasons I said in the beginning of the video. He cannot do that indoors. They are not indoors. It is totally completely different tennis. So the serve is the weapon there. The flatter shots is the weapon there. Offensive, more offensive-minded is a weapon indoors. And that's why Rafa lost to Zverev and Medvedev didn't. Medvedev played flatter. Medvedev have a bigger serve than Rafa Nadal. Medvedev is more offensive than Rafa Nadal. Many people think that Medvedev is only a grinder. Yeah, he's a grinder, yes, but he can be offensive as well. You don't do 35 winners if you're not offensive, like he did against Zverev. He did 35 winners. Dan Medvedev. So there you have reasons why Rafael Nadal lost to Alexander Sasha Zverev and why Dan Medvedev didn't do it. And there you have the reason why Rafael Nadal is much more successful on clay than what he is outside clay, especially indoors. Because of the things that Rafa does so tremendously good on clay, which he doesn't do as well outside clay, especially indoors. And if he improves these things, be more offensive, play flatter shots, have higher percentage of first serves in, then he really have all the chances to do well even indoors. It is not impossible because he's so tremendous talented. He's so tremendously consistent. He has a tremendous good stamina, which Zverev didn't have. We all saw what happened to Zverev against Medvedev in the third set. His stamina ended. He was out of gas, both physically and mentally. And that Rafa will never be out of gas. But Rafa needs to have a different approach indoors tennis for him to be more successful. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and bye-bye.